Jenny Aldretti and Jen Goodner with the Realtor Hive. And we are back after a long break from the Realtor Hive podcast, which used to be called many other things.
Welcome to our world.
That's right. Welcome to Jen's world as my best friend, which is actually what we're here to talk about today. We felt like the very first podcast, we actually had this podcast and a whole discussion last week. And I was driving to Dallas and I posted a ton of stories on my personal Facebook. And I texted Jen. I was like, hey, Jen, do you think this story was awesome? And what did you say, Jen?
I think I said something like, it's
Call
not
me.
my style, ...
And I was like,
and then I thought I should call her. So
translation, take it down immediately. You're going to offend people. We wanted to talk to you about that because we realized that it's so important that as you're trying to make connections on social media, and obviously you want to get clients, I think most people don't post on social media with the purpose of trying to piss people off. Like, I don't think that's our goal.
Not usually the goal.
I wanted to make people laugh. I'm like, this is hilarious. And Jen,
I was like, to some people, it will be.
I wanted to talk about, break that post down. And she was like, okay, what is the purpose of the post? And when I explained to her as my best friend, which awesome is that most people would not call you and be like, hey, I have a question about your post. What was the purpose? Like, that's never going to happen, y'all. And
Yeah, immediately Jenny was like, if you're asking that, it needs to come down.
yeah, it needs to come down because that's not a good idea. If you're having to ask me as my best friend, what is the purpose of this post?
She's, if you don't know, then it's really going to be a problem.
Yeah, no one else is going to be able to figure this out. But truly, one, if you're going to have to question if other people are going to have to question, red flag. If you're sending something that's funny to certain people, knowing that only they will think it's funny, Jenny, red flag. But also thinking about a couple of things. We want to talk about the lens, and which is really your purpose of everything that you do within your business. And that is going to drive what you post, how you spend your money, and how you spend your time. And I often get lost every single day and wasting my time on crap that doesn't matter. And so we want to talk about that. But also, when you're using that lens, the organization and the structure in which you share information sometimes can completely change how your message is received. Because Jen and I were talking about, had I just rearranged the order in which I shared my story, it would have been received differently. Like it would have been completely differently. Let's talk about the lens first, Jen. Go for it.
I love it. Jenny and I recently, as we have like rebranded, started a new year, started to look at things and figure out what it is that we're doing. I think everybody should do this, but we created a mission statement. And I think that when you think about that and you hear people say that, everybody's, I know what that is, I've done that. But I honestly think it's really a good thing.
And it is March, by the way. I just want to clear this up, okay? Because when she said with the new year, it's not
New Year. No, it's we're 1/3 of the way into the new year, and there's Jenny's Christmas tree and my flowers. So that's how you roll. It's now that you know where you are and who you're talking to. So it is. Yeah, we're not in January. It's true. We're past that. Even as we were doing that, we started talking about it, and we're figuring out, even when you know what your goal is, you know what it is, you know what you're thinking about, what your purpose is and who you're talking to and all of those things. When you revisit that, sometimes I think it's eye-opening. I think that we got to a really much more clear vision of what we're doing. And we just solidified a lot of things by doing that. I think the first thing is to figure out what your mission statement is. Jenny and I use ChatGPT for something like this 100% of the time. It's perfect for this because we could write down, here's what we want to do. Here's how we want it to sound. Here are things that are important to us. These are the people we're trying to serve. These are the most important values. And you can just tell it things where you're not having to figure out the language, and then it'll spit out, how about this statement? And then we go from there and we're like, we don't really like that part. We want to change it to this. And how about you make it this? So we just continued to play with it until we got something that we felt pretty comfortable about. And then we made it even shorter. We were like, let's take that speech or take that mission statement and make it into an elevator speech where it's only a couple sentences long. Now make it into a tagline. And there's great purpose in shortening it, because I think that when you make it shorter, it's something that you remember in your head. The big overall statement is one that you can come to revisit when you're doing marketing pieces and creating information about your company, et cetera. It's really important to have that bigger statement. But the smaller one is how to talk about it in real life, right? When you meet somebody who that asks, what do you do? To be able to say that in a sentence and explain who you are, what you do, and why it's important in just a quick sentence makes everything. So Jenny, let's say what we came up with.
Yeah, 100%.
As our
So
example.
I'll give you two differences, right? So if you're like, okay, what does the Realtor Hive do? We help realtors grow their business. That is not specific enough at all. Because if my ideal client is a realtor, they're going to be like, so does everyone else out there, right? That doesn't make any difference. But so what we came up with, which helps direct my focus every day and your focus, is we help realtors break through the noise, which provides a visual for me, because I think especially with everything that's happened with NAR, and realtors know how insanely competitive it is out there to get business from other people, because there's so many realtors fighting for business. So we help them break through the noise through online and community marketing. That's what we do. We help them grow their business by breaking through the noise with confidence and consistency. That's what we do. And so it's a little bit more information to where they might be like, how do you do that? Why do you do that? And so it just, if you're a realtor and someone said, what do you do? I'm a realtor. Okay. What do you do? I help people buy homes. Okay. It's not enough to make you stand out. So you just need a little bit more. So if you just want to go on ChatGPT and be like, hey, I call it chat.
Jenny's really good friends with ChatGPT, like they're best.
I often go on there and go, so would this offend someone if I said this? So if you go on chat and you say, this is my who, what, when, where, why. This is the 5 of my business, the big 5. Write me a mission statement. And then Jen said, just rewrite it. And then write that out in just a few words on what I do. And even if you're not using those exact words and you're not branding it everywhere, I literally woke up today and I was like, what do I need to do today? Which I know I should have planned it yesterday, whatever. It's not the way my brain works.
That's not going to happen.
When's my nap today? But so what it enables me to do is literally break through the noise of my own life and take all of the outside distractions and be like, all the things I want to do that are fun to do in my business, the cool graphics, these videos, those are fun. Those are cool, but that's not going to help drive my bottom line or help serve my ideal client. It really helps nail down my purpose and my lens so that when we're creating a video, when we're creating a post, when we're having a conversation, when we're spending marketing dollars or event money or having lunch or coffee with someone, we're spending our time with someone, is that being spent based on our mission statement and our tagline and through the correct lens? And if it's not, we don't need to be doing it during business hours. That's
and do they know the people that you're with? Do they know?
Yeah,
that's some of it too, is that even if it is in your head that you know why it's happening, are you communicating it? Is there something that is explaining how it's happening? Can you even say why? And so that's where I think we all kind of falter. We like Jenny was saying, like when we would talk about how our mission was to help realtors grow their business. That's true. That's still true. But we are now talking about how and why and what makes us different and how we do that and what it looks like. And even in doing that, I think that it frames everything you do totally differently. Like everything that we do. And so I think it's good to revisit it, even if you think you know it.
With your skill set, it changes with the timing, it changes with the market. Like it changes with the needs of your clients. Where are they in their life? Like that. And I think most importantly, it changes with the needs of your clients. For us, the needs of the realtors changes about every 6 months, sometimes every 3 months. And so we have to change with it. And I think it's really important for realtors to recognize that the needs of their clients change as well. It changes with the market, with the economy, with if they get married, if they graduate, if they get a new job, if they have a kid, if they get divorced, like that changes their needs, their desires, their wants. And so you too have to change the lens with which you are speaking through. And so I just think it's really important to reflect every quarter on, can I effectively communicate? And am I doing so every single day through the lens with which my ideal client needs me to. And by ideal client, I'm not saying it has to be first time home buyers, or I don't even care about any of that anymore. Like
the person.
Humans, okay?
Yep.
Humans who want to purchase real estate. I don't care what kind of real estate. And am I meeting their needs? The people that I know, not some general person in the ether. Like, who cares? The people that I know, my neighbors, my friends, my family, my past clients, have their needs changed? And do I need to reevaluate the lens at which I am speaking to them through? Like, that needs to be happening consistently. So
I love that you talked about changing, because Jenny, this is where Jenny and I are really different. Jenny is constantly looking at all the things, like going, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do this. And I'm like, let's stay here. Let's stay in this spot. And honestly, I think that's what makes us a good team, because I think you have to have both. Like, you need to stay in a spot for a little while, but then you have to reevaluate too to see if it's working, right? So obviously, neither one of those situations is perfect. It's not great to stay in a lane forever and have blinders on to what's going on around you. That's not going to help anything. And it's not great to jump from thing to thing without giving it a shot to really bloom and grow. You really have to be able to do both. And I like what you just said, which I think was smart. Thinking about it once a quarter, I think is really smart, because I think that as the seasons change, we change. We just, the way that we market. And I think about, Jenny and I are former teachers, and I think about the way that we did things in the summer was always very different than the way that we did things during the school year.
And it's not so boring for us either. You guys do business too. You do not have to do real estate the same way this year that you did it last year, which is why I love this industry so much.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. So that first step of getting that mission statement, that's your number one goal. You're going to get it organized. You're going to know what it is. You're going to then distill it even further so that it is now an elevator speech. So now you can be able to talk about that. And then you're going to take it even further and make it a tagline so that you can be able to literally say it in 5 words, something that's really quick. This is what we do. And once you have that and you start to put everything through that lens, I think things make so much more sense. Jenny and I were listening or talking, I can't remember where we heard this, but I remember hearing somebody talking about really framing everything through, I know what it was. We were watching a thing about ChatGPT, and they were talking about how to use ChatGPT, always thinking through this particular phrase, this, whatever your mission statement is, whatever your tagline is. And so that if you teach ChatGPT to know that that's what you're doing, that's who you are. And then it can literally frame your content, frame your ideas, frame your thinking, frame your writing, everything through that lens. Obviously that's amazing. But then I started thinking, we kind of have to do that all the time, right? Like in everything, right? So not in just what we're doing on social media, but in the conversations that we're having, in the meeting people and having a conversation and talking about our value, in talking to clients, in all of those things. And when you do frame everything through that, I think it makes things so much easier. And for me, I'm not somebody like I think that sounds so simple, but I keep coming back to it. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this the right thing?
And I like the idea of thinking it this way, because let's pretend like I was a realtor. You wouldn't want that. But let's pretend that mine was helping clients break through the noise of this market. And let's say I had a listing. Then as I'm going in and I'm helping this client prepare to get their house sold, and I'm looking at their furniture and we're helping them declutter and we're helping them get staging and all of that going, right? Then I'm literally looking at their house going, how can I help them break through the noise of every other listing out there? And so that day I'm looking at their home through that lens. Mm-hmm. Structures everything. And I'm talking to them. I'm saying, okay, we're going to break through the noise and we're going to make sure that your listing stands out more than any other listing. When people are coming in for the open houses, they are struck and they are in awe of what this home looks like. You know what I'm saying? And so that is not only going to change the excitement of your client, but it's also going to change the effort that you're putting into the property. And it's also going to change how you're going to market it. So that's what we're discussing here. It's not just online, it's how you run your business.
Yeah, in every frame. You come into Jenny's house and you see the Christmas tree and you're like, this.
And then I'm like, next realtor, please. Just kidding.
This is how we're going to break through the noise. We're going to take, the whole house is going to be Christmas. It's going to be amazing. No, but I like it's true, because when you start thinking about it, what makes this different? How do I look at it this way? yeah, let's declutter, of course. But what can I do that's going to make this stand out to other realtors, to other buyers, to whatever?
When you tell a seller, by the way, we're going to declutter, what they hear is, what I hear is, you're going to rid all my crap. Stop touching my stuff. You better bring a what do you call a dumpster outside for me, because I love throwing stuff away. So you want to do that? Fine.
Oh, Jenny, and the throwing stuff away. Oh my God.
I know, but if you frame it differently and you make it exciting and you're like, it's just all about the framing and the lens with we use, and it'll completely change the way that people also respond to what you're putting out there. If you have not joined the Realtor Hive on Facebook, it's our Facebook group. Definitely join us over there. We hope that y'all subscribe and share this podcast if you found it helpful. And if there's anything that you want to talk about, we're also going to be inviting some amazing agents, top producers, and coaches on here for you to learn from. We look forward to the next episode. Once again, I'm Jenny Oldready.
I'm Jen Goodner. We are the Jens at the Realtor Hive, and follow us on all the platforms, and we'll see you soon.